Take this time to introduce you to my pocket-sized guide to fly fishing. About 3x5 size index cards. This set is laminated and spiral bound. We got our cover here. When you open it up, the first page you come to is a Start Here guide. This will tell you where you can find the food on the water, how to check the water for temperature, and watch out for things like, good depth and currents. Look for rising fish, what kind of water is good for what kind of flies, and it'll tell you how many casts to take to different kinds of fish. If you're casting a rising fish, you only want to take 12 casts. With streamers, you only want to take 2. And then it's also going to tell you where to go in the set here in these different categories. The next page is called my bugs page. This gives you pages of the common bugs that you're going to find in the stream and how you can identify them. So if you want to go turn over some rocks or catch some stuff floating on the surface, this will tell you exactly what they are, so you know how to match it up to the right fly. The next card here is a water temperature guide. This is going to tell you, after you take the temperature of the water, which is a really good idea, how to fish it. So, if you're fishing in the 55 to 65 degree range, which is ideal, you can pretty much do whatever you want. But once you get hotter or colder waters, you're going to really need to cater your fishing to the kind of water that you're fishing in, and this will tell you how to do that, and also when the best time of day is for the different water temperatures. The next card is how to think like a fish. That's what you need to do out there. You can't think like a person, you need to think like a fish. It'll tell you how they think about food, their need for security, their need for comfort, and there's a relationship between food and work that fish have, and you need to follow that. Fish won't work too hard for food. They know they can only get a certain amount, and they can't just run around all day chasing meals around, so you have to present it right. Next we get into some tactics. Upstream and across, the classic dry fly fishing, across and down, which is called swing fishing, and upstream, which is usually used for nymphing. And I have a little hook size guide on the bottom here, so you know kind of what size fly you're fishing. The next card is all about knots. There's whole guides written about knots, but these 3 knots are all you're going to need once you're out on that stream. You don't need to make this any harder than it is. You need a perfection loop, a surgeon's knot, and a clinch knot. And these will tell you how to tie them and what they're used for. The next page is a trout ID card. This will tell you the brown trout, rainbow trout, brook trout, and cutthroat trout. Give you a nice picture of them, and it'll tell you where they're found and what temperature range they like. So if you're targeting a specific species, you know a little bit more about it. If you catch something you don't know what it is, you just look at this card and it'll tell you. I've got a couple of cards now that tell you how to look at the water and know what you're fishing and how to fish it. We have the pools card, and we have the pocket water rifles and runs card. And these cards are going to give you a diagram of the stream, tell you where the fish lies are going to be with some little pictures of the fish here, and tell you some things to look for and how to fish the different areas. Then I get into a couple of pages here where I have pictures of the common patterns that I use, and it's classified by mayflies, caddisflies, stoneflies, what they represent. And I've always had trouble. I go to the fly store and the guy sells me a half dozen different kinds of flies, and I know what they are when I walk out the door, but as soon as I get on the water, I don't have a clue. So I pull this out and I know what I'm fishing, and it's really handy once you start catching fish. People ask you what kind of fly you caught it on. You can actually tell them. So I got mayflies, nymphs, caddisflies. Here's a whole page just for caddisflies. And these are high quality, high definition photographs. You can see all the detail on them. This is stoneflies. Then there's a page on terrestrials and miscellaneous flies. So that's my guide here. Again, it's 3x5 index cards. You can either download it, print it, and do it up yourself, or I'll sell you and ship you the whole set just like this. I think it'll really help your fishing. It's worth a try. Thank you.